Hi folks, welcome to a little sneak peek at the new content, which is the Super Formula Car. Super Formula Car? Let's try that again. Super Formula Car that is just released for Season 4 on iRacing, and I have driven it, as probably most of you already have. If you haven't, well, it's a sketchy little rascal. It is going to try and give you some tips in this video about how to get the thing off the line, which seems to be quite tricky, what to watch out for if you are thinking about buying it, and basically just give you a bit of an introduction. So this is my aim for this video, just a short one to give you the ins and outs of it. Basically, this is the 2003 Super Formula Season car. It's apparently, the car was developed by Italian manufacturer Delay. This is me reading from the iRacing thing, just in case you wanted to know. And it's Japan's premier open wheel racing series, which is why we probably don't know too much about it. By the looks of things, it looks quite good. It basically is a Formula car. It's not as powerful and as fast as the F1 cars, but I think it's a bit quicker than the stuff we got in iRacing already. Formula 4, definitely. Formula 3, definitely. This is probably one of the nearer the top tier. It has a turbocharged inline 4 engine. The turbo whistle on this and the wastegate on it sounds particularly nice. There we go. Yeah, so I'm really quite impressed with that. Sometimes when you do lift off, it goes psh. It kind of sounds like a lorry, which I'm disappointed. And then you listen carefully, and it's got like a little bit of a runoff as well. That's quite nice. I do like that one. But yeah, 570 horsepower apparently, and a thing that weighs 600 kilos. Now, if I was in that car, it would be weighing a lot more than 600 kilos, but this is the sim, and it doesn't include driver weight, which is good. So 600 kilos, nearly, actually, I didn't notice that, nearly a 1-to-1 power to weight ratio. 600 kilos, 570 horsepower. No wonder it wheel spins and will try to kill you every 5 minutes. I'm joking, it's not that bad. But yeah, it's a very fast car. It is very twitchy. You do need to manage it, otherwise this may happen. And then maybe some of this. And definitely you're going to see a few people do this. So bear that in mind. It has a lot of power for its weight. It's a typical Formula car with a lot of downforce. It's quite dim-witted in the slow corners, so bear that in mind as well as you're racing. But yeah, let's crack on with the video and let me show you the little tips of this car. Now, this was a little race we did in our week 13 shenanigans, and in a nutshell, this is me going around the last corner, and I activate the push to pass, which you will see here takes up all of our screen. Now, this is very interesting because we have 200 seconds of push to pass, and you can see everything disappears off the screen apart from what the hell we're doing. You can't turn this off unless you tap the button again. It is a toggle switch for on and off. And now you can see there on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, as I run very wide, gloss over that one, people, there is a overtake retimer. So this means we cannot use the overtake button for another 100 seconds. So this is where it becomes really strategic on how to use this push to pass. We get 200 seconds of it, but then we can't use it for another 100 seconds, which is very, very interesting. And particularly in the 15 minutes fix series, you could probably run this for a lap, maybe a lap and a half, depending on the circuit. But in the 35-minute open sessions, it is really going to be crucial of where you can actually use this overtake. And more importantly, where you can't use it with the cooldown period. You see the bar is filling up there on the steering wheel. So basically it'll count us down, and when it goes to the top, it will disappear, and it means we have it engaged again. So that is very useful to get that on screen and know exactly what that is. Now, another important thing to look at is other people's car. You see in the center there, we have a wonderful, it looks like a figure of 8 to be honest, but you see it flashing right here. So that tells the drivers behind that I'm actually using my push to pass. So keep an eye on this light. If the dude ahead is flashing, well, if he's flashing you, call the police. But as it goes off, that means we're not using it now. So bear this in mind when you are watching. If it's flashing red, there is a whole key which I'll put on the screen now. If it's flashing red, it means they're using it. Now, this one will be a little bit harder to see in the race, but you see on the roll hoop there, we have a lovely green light, and that signifies how much push to pass we have left. It was full up, and it was, green. You can see the dude behind using it as well, so you can see there it flashes slowly when we're on the cooldown. So it flashes quickly when we use it, and then it flashes a little bit slowly. You see the car behind there is still got it activated because he's flashing quickly. This will be very good for sort of if people are league racing and they're actually watching it, because you can actually see what the cars are doing. It's not going to be so good for us racing because we'll have no idea what on earth's going on, but it's quite useful for spectating this sport. So this is the other one I found here. This is obviously playing at full speed, but it's a slow flashing red. And on screen is what the lights mean, and I can't find anything what slow flashing red is. If it's fast flashing red, then it means there's only 20 seconds left of the push to pass with the extra fuel going into the car. I presume this slow red means there's none left. So I'm clutching the straws at that one, so just double check for me if that is actually true and pop it in the comments and we'll be all golden on that one. But yeah, that's what I believe is nothing left in that car of push to pass, which again, if we can see it in the mirror, is going to be really, really useful. If we can't see it in the mirror, kind of pointless. Right then, so let's try and start this thing. I'm on launch control limit start 1. Yet to find out what that actually means. But yeah, anyway, I have my dual clutches set at 45%. So obviously I'm going to park it in the middle of the track. Why not? First gear. So I'm going to let you into a little secret, because if in iRacing you can set your clutch. So if you have a clutch pedal, like I do on my left foot, you can actually set a secondary clutch in the control option. I'll put something on screen just to show you. But what that means is you can hold your foot at about 45%, then use your second clutch option as a button, press that, and it will give you full clutch. Then when the lights go out, you keep your foot in the same place, which is like your secondary clutch, and you keep that at 45%. You've obviously hold your button, you get your revs up, you get start, and then you let go of the button. Now that'll drop your clutch onto your foot, which is at 45%. So then you can start feeding in your pedal. So it's kind of like getting a dual clutch without actually having a dual clutch, but obviously you do need a clutch pedal. But yeah, obviously go into controls, and then at the top it says second clutch, and just bind that to a button. Very, very easy, very, very cheeky, but we can do it in iRacing, so that's always a win. But yeah, so you just have to get practicing with your left foot to get that clutch nicely at 45%, which I don't know, because I can't see race labs like you can. I don't know if that's 45%. If it is, happy days, but if not, yeah, press the button for full clutch, lights go green, let go of the button, you're on the 45% clutch, and then away you go. You can start feeding it in, start feeding the power. But luckily I do have dual clutch, so I've set it at 45%. So first gear, right, so this is my second attempt because that first one wasn't too good. So what we'll do is 45% on this, first gear, build up the revs, let go of the clutch, little bit of wheel spin. All I'm trying to do is like tame the wheel spin and letting the clutch go as smooth as I can to minimize that wheel spin. But it is hella tricky. This car produces a lot. I think it's 580 horsepower, so you do need to be careful with it. So definitely practice. See if this one can go a little bit better. And there, yeah, that was a little bit better. That felt a little bit smoother. Less wheel spin, which is nice. Arguably, the tyres are probably a little bit warmer, so probably got a little bit more brick there. But you do have to practice and practice and practice, because these will be standing starts, so we do need to practice. What do I think about the car? It's pretty damn tasty. It is a very quick car. It is quite fun. You have to be very careful in the fast speed, because it's deceptively quick. And then you come to one of these slower corners like this, and it's really, really dim-witted and quite slow. You have to really tiptoe around here. And if you're in anything if you're anything lower than third gear, it's proper sketch on the throttle. You have to feed in that power so carefully. This thing does have a turbo, and you've probably heard the turbo wastegate, which sounds delicious. But yeah, you do need to be proper careful. But yeah, it is quite nice to drive. You've got to manage it. You've got to manage your right foot very, very carefully, because it will snap and kill you quite easily. But yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. I'm hoping we're going to have relatively good participation. My fear is that participation could drop off. I'm hoping I'm completely wrong, and me saying that, I hope I drinks it. But yeah, it's quite challenging to drive, and at the moment there's a 35-minute open race and a 15-minute fixed. Now, considering this is B class, 15 minutes fixed is very, very short. F4, for comparison, is a 20-minute race. And even that I thought was too short. And it's every 2 hours. A 15-minute race every 2 hours. That's going to be harsh. I know we go to the open race, but still, you know, give us a decent fixed race, will you please, iRacing? Thanks very much. But yeah, if that does go up, I'm hoping it does. But yeah, Zandvoort looks absolutely fantastic. I know we haven't mentioned Zandvoort a lot. There we go. Oh, the new gravel trap. Please stop us. Oh, the new gravel traps. Yes, iRacing. So yeah, that's another bit of the update, which obviously I deliberately mentioned there. The gravel traps do actually stop you now, which is fantastic. So fingers crossed we won't have many DNFs, so you can keep on going. But that's what I mean. It's very sort of, it's a typical Formula car. Once the downforce is gone, it's just a normal box standard car that's trying to contain this power, and it's like, doesn't really work half the time. You have to be so careful. Again, the open setups will be a bit more comfortable than the fixed. This is the fixed Zandvoort setup that I'm just rolling around here, so I'm not doing anything competitive really. So hopefully you don't take note of that time that's on the steering wheel over 144, because yeah, it's not that good. But yeah, Zandvoort does look amazing. We haven't mentioned it, but you know, it does look good. And we do have another new track as well, which I have bought, which I haven't been around yet. So that will be definitely one to do. Somewhere in France, is it? I think so. But yeah, let's finish off waffling and let's see if we can do a decent lap. We won't worry about that off track. See what I mean? I have to be really careful on that throttle. And this bank corner here is utterly insane. So there we have it, my first little look at the old Super Formula 2023, and I believe the short abbreviation is SF23, which is kind of cool. But yeah, very, very enjoyable car to drive. I really hope this car does survive. It's a B-class, 15 minutes fixed, which needs to be longer in my opinion. It needs to be 25. 25 would be a nice number for this race because it's not too physical, and a 35-minute in the open setup. Setups are going to be critical. Setups, open setups, I will be imagining are a lot quicker. And yeah, in a nutshell, I really do hope this car survives. I can see it kind of dying off mid-season, but it needs to keep going because it is quite a fun car. Fingers crossed if we do all buy it and jump on it and, like I say, treat it with a little bit of respect, learn how to drive. That's the biggest thing with these cars, is learn how to drive. You just can't jump in it and do 100% throttle. Your pedal is analog at the end of the day, and that's my biggest advice with this car, particularly first and second, and maybe a bit of third. Just be careful with that old right foot, you know, treat it as a bit of glass and take things nice and easy. Otherwise, hope you did enjoy this video. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and do that lovely YouTube stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one.